Let's do this. Are you ready for a comeback? Are you ready to fly? Are you ready for the moment? Get ready to ride. Calling all the fighters, calling on survivors. Are you up all nighters? We can take it higher. Let's do this. Can you feel the fire running through your veins? Now you're burning brighter, don't look away. Shout out to the legends, rising from the wreckage. Count down the seconds, it's out your engines. Let's do this. I know we've got a long way to go. I know we've got a long road home. I know we've got a long way to go. Let's do this. Are you ready for a comeback? Are you ready to fly? Let's do this. Are you ready for the moment? Get ready to ride. Let's do this. Oh, you know we're gonna do this. Oh, you know we're gonna do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to North South Racing Meets Fall Brawl from the dirt track in Charlotte. From Coast Fire Media, I'm Josh Glassman. With me, as always, Mr. Adam Wood. Adam, how are you doing on this beautiful
More short track racing than dirt. I'm doing fantastic. I love this stuff. I'm not a big. I don't personally like to drive the street stocks on dirt. They're not my cup of tea, but I love dirt racing and I love calling the action here and see what other people can do, like in their natural habitat here. Some people's natural habitat. Some people hate this race here tonight. We'll see how everybody does.
I mean, in all honesty, as we look back at the previous dirt track races we've had in North South Racing League, only been this year, season 5 and season 6. We have not had a repeat winner. We've had one race that was okay. But no repeat winner. Had one caution fest, the other two have been a little more on the tame side. But we've got heat racing going on tonight. Apparently, but big
Well, that's too much on my side.
too much on your side.
Yeah, that was way too much on my side.
Well, I'm allowed today. Sue me. But we've got ourselves quite a bit of goodness to go around today. We've got two heat races and a feature. The heat races are going to dictate the start for tonight. The starting grid for the feature, but we still have our standard entry. So you know what? You could have a lot of chaos. You could have a whole lot less. But the one thing that we do need to make sure everyone understands: heat races, caution laps will count tonight, but they will not count during the feature. So when that yellow flag flies, the field is set, and get everyone lined up if they survived enough, and bring everyone in.
Yeah, these guys are gonna have fun tonight. I think they're hoping, they're trying to make sure that there's gonna be two heat races. That's what they're looking at right now. So I'm listening to the admin chat here, and they're trying to make sure that everything's going to work out. They're hoping it does, not be one single heat race. So we watch the 91 of Adam Gable there just ripping that high line, just hitting that cushion, man. You got to be brave. You know, I just did finish the dirt series just a little bit ago. It was different cars, the sprints, but to ride the wall, it takes a whole lot of other nerve to make sure you don't mess up. At least these cars are more of a tank, and they can survive a wall hit, unlike the sprint cars.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of the big things that we're going to have to keep an eye out on tonight. Is these guys, it is probably going to be a little bit on the difficult side for them. And I do not know why I am quiet. It doesn't happen. Normally I'm one of the loudest people in the room. But we are getting ourselves ready to go for the evening.
They're trying to figure it out right now. Says audio is off.
Alright.
And I'm probably going to blow people's eardrums out because yes, it was. So we'll go ahead and put that back.
Yeah, so right now it looks like they're trying to make a heat race inside of a heat race, or two heat races inside of one heat race right now. So what's looking like?
All right, that is going to be a little confusing for us, but you know what? We've dealt with worse.
But I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. At this point, the lights on the pace truck are off. But hopefully we can get things sorted out. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't quite hit the numbers that you were looking for. We have 19 people out on track tonight. So, they just put half the field into the pits. That works.
Yes. So they're going to get to a certain point. I think they throw a manual caution, and then the next set of guys will come off the grid.
And
we'll go down.
We're racing. Jared Mogard gets the beautiful spot. He's going to slide himself up in front of Danjan Janin. And right there on the low line is Devin Rogers trying to take advantage of what little bit of the track state is available to him. But we're also seeing Brian Hacker, one of our previous winners, is making his way up towards the front. But Jared Mogard taking full advantage of the chaos that's going on behind him. But these guys are keeping it clean at this point. But Brian Hacker is fighting with Devin Rogers up here for second. These guys are going 3 wide towards the back of the field. And we're seeing a lot of people taking advantage of that wonderful slide that comes with dirt.
Yeah, right now Brian Hacker is right underneath him. He is trying to get Jared Mogard. He's trying to use the bottom line, trying to get some momentum there. But the outside lane is actually keeping up a little bit more pace right now for him. He gets to run down these straightaways right now from Brian Hacker, but he's searching. Oh, they make a little bit of contact down the back straightaway, and they're straightening it back out. But looks like Jared's doing a fine job of holding them off each lap.
Well, he's taking that high line. He's able to keep that tire right on the edge of the cushion, get the best traction. Maybe not the best idea when you're trying to attack, but now he drops down to that low line. We see a little bit of dirt piling up on that low line from the few people that were running all the way down. but Brian Hacker is starting to fall back ever so slightly. We're seeing Will Eastman and Ryan Johnson enter the fray. We're seeing Devin Rogers get down all the way to the edge of the dirt. Not the most advisable thing, because those tires on the inside, they don't move like a normal tire in iRacing. They just destroy your car.
Yeah, that's it. Will Eastman, though, he's making that low line work. He's caught up a lot of distance right now on Brian Hacker, but Brian Hacker drops down to try to take away that line away from Will Eastman, trying to hold on a second place. We only got a few more laps here before this first part of this heat race will be over with, and we'll get a second set of cars out here.
All right, they're fighting to get themselves up, because there are bonus points for the top 3 finishers, 5 for first, 3 for second, and 1 for third. And especially Brian Hacker and Will Eastman, they are definitely in need of a few extra bonus points going forward through this season.
All right, so we got a lap and a half left before these guys' heat race is over. We're trying to see who will come out on top here. We got a great battle shaping up here for this final lap.
All right, Brian Hacker is right there on the low line. Jared Mogart is doing what he can. We have a wreck, but they're staying, moving forward. But Will Eastman throwing it down on the low line. Is he going to be able to get the traction to be able to get up underneath the 11? He is not. And these guys are going to go ahead and just have some fun.
Yeah, they all have to hit the infield right now. They don't want to complete another lap.
All right, these guys are going to have a slightly shorter race, because by the time they get themselves formed up and moving... Oh, no. Caution laps do count under these.
Yeah, so what they're going to do is they're basically all going to have equal laps, and I think at the end they might all blend back together, because right now they're all underneath the same negative status.
But the question is, I would assume that they're taking note of who's in first, second, and third right now.
Justin Grosser is working overtime right now. He is a madman trying to write everything down, keep everything straight. He's doing a fantastic job. He is the race control right now, eye in the sky, just taking this on and kicking some ass right now.
All right, these guys are lined up behind the pace truck, and we are going to get ourselves racing for an ad hoc dual heat. But Gage Killam is gonna go ahead, lead us to the green up here in the front. He's got Matt Cook, Gary Eschen, Robbie Clavey, Travis Hoefler, Dante Curtis, Josh Nelms, Philip Martin, and Jeff Bergener all running with him in this little bit of a group. And looks like they're going to try to get themselves running this next time by. Wait, it looks like caution laps aren't counting on this either. I was going to say, I didn't know in iRacing if you were able to modify if caution laps counted between the two. So we are going to have ourselves a full 10 laps. And the lights on the pace truck are off, so it's about time for us to get ourselves moving once again.
All right, these guys are going to have fantastic. They got to see what other people are done. Track state's a little bit worse for them, not too bad, but they're going to take it and run with it here as a round turn 3, getting ready for the start of their heat race number 2.
All right, is it time for that pace truck to go ahead and peel off?
I did.
We're on the front stretch, so. I've spent enough time staring at this track to know that the tower is there.
So it's looking for the leader, and they don't have a leader because the leader's on the infield. so they can't get the green, I don't think. So I think they're just going to go. I think that's what's going to happen, and Justin just counts as 10.
And we are green as everyone goes ahead and gets a little bump on the 15 there. That looks like Gary Eschen really trying to see what these guys can do on their first lap, and we have caution.
Ooh.
Let's go ahead.
Backed into the fence there.
Let's go ahead and see what happens here. These guys get moving. Gary Eschen's up there on the high line. Looks like he kind of flirts with the wall. Dante Curtis gets pushed up a little bit by Robbie Clavey, and everyone rolls away. We're fine. Everybody's fine. Even though, let's see. Looks like Gary Eschen and Robbie Clavey are showing as a lap off, but that,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be ridiculous.
that is iRacing.
When iRacing, I just want to let everybody know, whenever caution laps do not count, the scoring is always somehow just goobered up. It kind of messes up the whole entire field. So, and then to throw a wrench into it, we got the top half of the field sitting on the infield, which they're thinking they should be scored ahead of these guys, and all these other guys are, 10 laps down.
Yeah, I've run a few races with Adam when he just won a dirt series. Inevitably, somebody would get shuffled to the front despite being 2 cars back, and it can be a little chaotic. But since these guys didn't get a full lap under green, we still have 10 laps to go, and I have this weird feeling that right now, the lights on the pace truck are off, and it should be peeling off into this very strange pit lane, so we can get ourselves back racing. And at this point, Matt Cook is gonna go ahead and lead us through. He gets to go when he wants. And he's more of a gentleman than I am. Wait until just about everybody's pointed straight and gets a great jump. Problem is he's staying on that slicked out part of the track, and that's going to open up the door for the 83 and the 03 to get themselves up a little bit farther. But we're seeing a lot of 3 wide as we go a little bit farther back. It's actually working out for the 83 and the 23. Dante Curtis is the only guy staying up towards that wall. He's going to have good traction. Wait.
Oh, we got one. Oh.
And
they all sort themselves off back there, I think.
They did, and that keeps it live. So these guys are going to go ahead and keep moving. And timing and scoring is a little thrown off because it's showing Jeff Bergener as the first car, but he's also towards the back of the field. So Matt Cook, we have 7 laps to go. Dante Curtis doing everything he possibly can to keep himself in this fight. But it's looking like that low line, and I do apologize. That actually is Travis Hoefler. He's just running the same colors as I'm used to seeing from Gary Eschen in that pink, white, and black.
But he's making a great run on the outside there, and we have a caution, race control caution. I didn't hear him count down, sorry.
Not exactly sure why we're...
I think they're fishing under yellow here. It wasn't an admin caution. So, quick caution, and that will be ending this.
We may have run out of time?
No, there was a quick spin. Josh Nelms got spun around, and that's it. So
well, let's go ahead and see what happens. So, yeah, just gets up into the super loose stuff, and gets A little tag into the wall there by Robbie Clavey, and
so now they're trying to blend them in right now. So with 4 laps to go here, they're just trying to blend the other drivers into this somehow.
just put them all out on track and let's see what happens. A little bit of chaos. We're gonna get it made worse by the invert. Let's just get to slinging some more mud. I'm into it. Especially considering, hopefully the track will get a little cleaner before we get moving here.
All right, so they're figuring this stuff out right now.
Everybody's just going into the pits. We're just not going to go green.
No, they're done. The racing's over. They're gonna fast forward the session here in just a second. So Justin is Grosser, our in-race admin, is still working like a madman, getting all these positions down, trying to figure out who needs to go where and what point of time. But so
well, if that's where we are at, just to make things even more confusing for him, actually, we'll let him take a few moments and let's go ahead and hear from the sponsors of the North-South Racing League.
5 Star Realty Group is located on the Emerald Coast in beautiful Panama City, Florida. 5 Star Realty Group has years of experience in residential properties, investment opportunities, vacation rentals, and commercial properties, and looks forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Wellville, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all of their amazing products and place your order.
Alright, we've got 2 laps to go, and it looks like we have a few people that are just going to go ahead and run some laps to get it killed. We've got Philip Martin, Ryan Johnson, Devin Rogers. It looks like Philip Martin's going to be considered the winner, and that is going to throw us off ever so slightly, but
so basically what's going to happen here is they are going to go to start. They're going to just probably have to like hold off for like 4 or 5 laps, and they're going to go single file, and then we're going to do everything. So I think we can spin the wheel though.
We have a warm-up at this point, so yeah, let's go ahead. They've got 5 minutes worth of playing around on the track, wrecking the track. So let's go ahead, see how much more chaos we can throw into this race. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel, see what kind of an invert we get.
0. Get out of here, dude. You're fired. You are so fired.
Well,
you are. Why is 0 a counter?
It was almost a full field. Let's see what a number 2 would have brought us. See, 2 would have brought us 13, so
You're fired.
I can't help it. I'm going to say bad programming.
Gary's up there bad. I'm sorry, Gary. We will fire Josh immediately.
I will fire the programmer who made the wheel.
Oh, man.
The wheel that I didn't pay for.
Yes. No, we just borrowed off the internet and made our own. But, so what they're going to do here now, since there is no invert, they are calling off the lineup right now, but when they do go to the pace laps beforehand, everybody's going to go single file, and they're going to figure out exactly who needs to be where, and it's going to probably take an extra lap or 2 to get everybody in the exact place they need to be in before we go green here.
But these guys out there for 5 minutes, they're tearing up the track. We've
Yes,
got to run 75 laps, and they're just going to make it that much worse. Make it to where this, in my experience, Charlotte against the wall is a bad time.
I mean, these are tanks, though. I mean, they're a little bit better. I mean, me in the sprints, bad time. I was leading off of turn 4 on the last lap, and I've led almost every single lap of the whole entire race, and my right rear tire jumped over the cushion, hit the wall, and threw me over the fence. So, yes. Right where we just went through. That fence right there. I flew over the fence and then hit me in the infield, and then tossed me back on the track and through the infield. So I saw both the outfield and the infield at one time. So yeah, this track is menacing. But that's for sprint cars. These are tanks. They can hit the wall and keep on going.
Yeah, but you know what the big difference is between the sprint cars and these? You can adjust the downforce in the sprint cars.
Yes.
These, you're stuck with it.
I think these are more throttle though. Like you're working the throttle and the brake more. You don't really touch the brakes in the sprints. Yeah, see, like, just throttle and aerodynamics, and that's what you hope for. You hitting the brakes, it's just going to upset the car way too much, and you're just going to die. But these, like, you can hit the brakes just a little bit, scrub it, get the car to turn a little bit, hit the throttle. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with the street stocks here, and makes them a blast to drive if that's the way you like to drive your car.
I find ways to not have to lift.
They just asked if they can vote to have the 0 spin removed.
I rolled a 13 the second time. That was on air.
Yeah, but the second time doesn't count.
Just go ahead, roll, tell them. 13 was the second. I'd be more than happy to see a 13 car invert when we only have 19.
Well, I got a hole in one after my second shot. Doesn't work that way.
Mulligans works that way.
Also, anybody out there is NASCAR fan. Dale Jr. posted up today that when they unloaded their car coming back from Vegas today, that there was a possum stuck inside the car. They found a possum inside one of their cars. And he's alive. He wasn't dead. He somehow made it in the car after the race and rode all the way back from Vegas.
From Vegas?
From Vegas.
I didn't even...
Yeah, the Xfinity cars, one of Junior's cars. They didn't say which one.
I will be honest, I didn't think that possums were in the desert, but shows what I know.
Hey, I mean, maybe it was hiding in the trailer the whole entire time. They brought it from North Carolina. It made it to Vegas. They got to hang out in Vegas for a long time, and then then it got back in the car. It came back to North Carolina. We don't know these things.
It knew what it was doing. It wanted a weekend partying in Vegas.
They want to see the Strip.
I mean, there's plenty to eat around there, especially at the track. That possum had the time of its life this past weekend.
Yeah. I mean, and then, now it's Dale Jr.'s possum. So, it's going to have a fantastic life from this point on.
I mean, I'm just going to stick with it. Needed a weekend away. It came from North Carolina. So, all right, they're getting things sorted.
Yep, Justin has everything written down. He is the man. He is now calling out who needs to be where, and everybody's just pulling up whenever they need to be.
And the lights on the pace truck are off, but I don't know what that really means for us.
They said they're going to extend it. One more extension. There it goes.
And actually, the track doesn't look all that terrible other than the entry to the corner, to where these guys didn't tear it up that badly, but at the same time, seeing that black as you're coming up to entry knowing you're going to have 0 grip means things are going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But one of the things I do love about this Charlotte dirt track is some of them are not banked at all, they're flat. Some of them are far too banked. Honestly, I think this was my personal favorite that they have on iRacing.
I mean, it does a fantastic job. It has a slight banking to it. It's not a flat. It's not a high bank like the Bristol type of track that they throw in there. You can carry some speed on the outside, and you're not totally lost if you have to go up to the top. It's wide enough you can get three cars sideways through here, either like street stocks or super late model dirts. You're able to do a lot of different things here at Charlotte Dirt.
And looks like we've got 2 distinct lines according to the dirt. So that is going to make things very interesting as the pace truck makes its way to the infield. So we are ready to get ourselves green, and they will be waiting for that flag man to start waving and get ourselves onto our feature, and they're on their way. It looks like these guys on that low line are going to have an advantage to start, but Matt Cook gets a little bit loose there, and that makes it to where Dante Curtis has the ability to get down below, but he has Will Eastman on that lower line. They're going to go 3 wide across the stripe. Will Eastman getting very aggressive with his turn-in, and that is going to give us a running order after the first lap. Brian Hacker, Jared Moggard, Dante Curtis, and we're seeing Matt Cook drop as he is just not able to really find that good dirt, but Brian Hacker is under a lot of pressure right now from Jared Moggard.
Yeah, right now, and right behind them, you got Will Eastman and Dante Curtis. Dante's running the middle to outside lane, and Will Eastman's been hugging that inside lane like crazy for the past couple laps. But I mean, it's dicey all throughout the field right now. They're double, and sometimes looks like it's triple wide here. I mean, the way these guys are able to spread out. I mean, you just see so much action throughout this whole entire racetrack right now. As we got one around in turn 3. As of right now, caution hasn't came out. Maybe he's got it. There he goes. There's the caution.
You had to wait for Rodney Huntoon to make his way to him before the flag flies, and we are under caution. Lap 6 of 75. As these guys catch the pace car, and we are. I'm sitting here watching the craziness that is caution laps not counting.
Yeah, everybody crashed.
To where it makes the ticker go absolutely nuts, because as everyone crosses the line, it cycles through. But Brian Hacker is going to lead us to green. Jared Moggard in second, Dante Curtis in third, Will Eastman fourth, and Ryan Johnson in fifth. And now starts the crazy.
Yep, it's ongoing red on our screen right now. It's just blasting red. This ain't everybody died. Everybody's dead right now. But no, right now we get, don't pay attention to this ticker right now. It's the non-scoring laps right now. Just it kind of messes with everything. But right now, Brian Hacker, Jared Moger, Dante Curtis, Will Eastman, and Ryan Johnson's your top 5 right now.
Let's see if maybe the tower is a little bit better. Hey, and there it goes.
No, it's every time you cross the line, everything has to get sorted out. It's just one of those things. Timing and scoring is really messed up underneath cautions when there's no caution laps.
But the pace truck is off, so it's time to get ourselves back to the green flag racing. And these guys, nobody is pulling punches at this point as Brian Hacker gets moving early, and that gives Dante Curtis the opportunity to get up and into second. Is he going to pull that slide in there? It looks like he may be able to hold on to it, as he looks nice and tidy through that turn, as Will Eastman and Ryan Johnson getting a little close for comfort. But Ryan Johnson holding that low line. Will moves up ever so slightly, and it's just going to turn into the battle of who's faster through the corner, because we know Will Eastman will end up being faster from that bigger arc, and it looks like he's going to be able to get himself clear. Dante Curtis is struggling ever so slightly because he is stuck on that low line, and looks like the outside is where you want to be right now.
Yeah, Will Eastman's found some speed up there. I mean, you just saw how much a gap he closed right there on Dante Curtis on the outside right there. He was able to find a lot of speed and basically almost come to the rear bumper of Jared Mogart up there. Will Eastman, he could be a force to be working with tonight if he can continue to find the speed on the outside line.
As we see Ryan Johnson get a little close to Dante Curtis, but Will Eastman, a man on a mission, trying to get himself up to the front of this pack. And Brian Hacker has a little bit of an issue, and that closes up the gap. And that is going to give Jared Mogard the opportunity to try to get the run. Is he going to set up the slide job? Brian Hacker is loose on entry, but he is great on that exit, and we have yellow.
Yeah, right now I think the outside line is too early to go to. I think you got to wait a little bit and go to use the middle and low lines, and when the track kind of dies off, then it's when you got to move to the top.
All right, let's see what happens here. We're focused on Matt Cook, who everything looks fine. Oh, until Gary Eshin ends up getting a little bit loose there, and that
tire.
Yeah, those tires are murder. They don't move like they really should.
Yeah. They were cement to the ground. That's not a tire, that's a cement block.
Yeah. But let's see what happens with Philip Martin right here. I think he was just late to the party, as these guys are spinning in front of him and just tags Matt Cook. And we get to see that bounce back off the tires. That's what it kind of should happen, but not quite. But luckily under dirt, the cautions are relatively quick.
Yeah. But, you know, it's a game of trying to find traction right now. You see guys trying to go to the top because the middle's starting to get slicked off, but it's not completely terrible enough where the top is giving them the speed they need to, since the bottom still has plenty of fresh dirt down there for these guys to use.
Let's go ahead and jump on the Kelly's Custom Engraving roll bar cameras. The pace truck is off, but we can see that's a lot of slicked up right there. Going to make it real difficult on these guys. But I like his start style. Make it where everybody's in the turn. He gets a good two-car jump, but he's right onto that slick, gets a little too far sideways. It looks like Dante Curtis is taking that wall, adding a little bit of a stripe to the outside of his car. But he's looking strong on that mid-line. Has to correct on exit, but he is going to clear for second place over Jared Mogard. But now it's time to get to Brian Hacker.
Yeah, I mean, now you got to figure out what line do you want to run. Like, you run the other guy's line, you can try and track him down, but it's very hard. You want to try to find some place that he's not, to find a little bit more speed than what he's running, because sometimes riding the trail, you're just coming nose to tail. and you can't pass that way.
Will Eastman is real aggressive in getting that car turned on entry. He is, and it's working for him. He is down below Jared Mogard right now, and I have no words for how he is dealing with this slicked out track. He's making it to where he's about 45 degrees to that inside line and making it work. As we see in the background there, Adam Gable gets a little bit loose. That's going to give Jeff Bergener the opportunity to get down below. It's going to be a race off of turn 2. And he's struggling for traction out of these turns in that 91.
Yeah, sometimes though, we see Will Eastman when he was hugging the bottom. Sometimes it's a lot nicer because you're always in semi-fresh dirt versus running to the outside wall and then trying to arc it in on a slicked out track. The rear end kind of wants to go down, so if you can start your arc on fresh dirt, it helps you kind of grip the bottom a little bit more. But he's still searching as the bottom's starting to slick off, and there's not much grip on that rear tire. So we see Brian Hacker just slide up there and kind of lose it in front of Dante Curtis. Dante was able to get a fantastic run on the outside. Ooh, and it makes contact through 3 and 4, and he's going to be able to get right there. He apologized on the radio, but I got into him just a little bit. But, I mean, that's a good old short track dirt racing right there action.
As we're only on lap 19 of 75, and these conditions are only going to get worse as we tick these laps off. But Brian Hacker's battling back. He's actually going to lead that lap. He's got that right rear tire right on the edge of the cushion, and that's going to give him a great run off the turns. And let's actually go to the blimp as he's trying to cross over Dante Curtis. And he is going to have a fantastic run. He's going to be able to slide right in front of him. Dante Curtis is going to try to return the favor, and he's going to be able to slide right up there and get himself up into the lead of this race. But what do we see on the outside there but the 00 of Jared Mogard fighting? But looks like these guys are just going to trade back and forth.
Yeah, so Brian takes the low side. He slides up and goes a lot slower there. Dante gets to run off the corner, is able to cross him back over. And basically the same thing's going to happen here most likely. Brian Hacker's going to drop. Oh, actually, he's going to run to the high side with him. I thought he was going to drop down there.
As
Ooh,
we are getting a little bit on the testy side. As these guys, we see Will Eastman just throwing it down, sliding up a little bit farther than he probably wants to. And there's Jeff Bergener trying to find a way around these guys. But it is turning into a lot of chaos as we see Matt Cook actually crash, gets himself down into pit road to keep us running green as we're going to cross the line onto lap 25. And this front pack, they're just having the time of their life, swapping positions, and just, I do not envy the visors on their helmets right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're constantly cleaning this thing. Good thing iRacing has unlimited tear-offs. You're not limited to how many tear-offs that you can get because you can just continue smashing the button or saying the command if you got voice commands to clear your visor, man, because these guys are going to be clogged up with mud right now. But we see Brian Hacker getting very testy with them right now, and Jared Mogard, he's trying to run the outside line. He gets a great run, but there's nowhere to go. Like, both lanes are clogged up by the time he gets a fantastic run. Like right now, he's right there, but he can't drop down and do anything with it because Brian Hacker's right there with him. Oh man, look at that spread. There's so many people just riding through these corners like that.
And we're along for the ride, and this is what we want to see. And I'm actually going to jump back here for a little bit, just because we're starting to see a few different packs form up, but it's not as if the racing is slowing down in any way, shape, or form to where this is the battle for 10th right now. Philip Martin holding on to 9th, but Travis Hoefler, Josh Nelms, and Dan Jan Janin all right around one another, getting their cars sideways, trying to get pointed off the turn, but it's just chaos. And we'll jump to the front once again. Dante Curtis does have the lead, but the question is how momentary is this going to be? As we see Jared Mogard, he's running that wall, got some sparks flying there. But Brian Hacker and Jeff Bergener, these guys going side by side still, and there's the 38 of Ryan Johnson showing up to join the party.
Yeah, right now, everybody's just trying to find the fast group or what's fast to them. I mean, it's all subjective to you. Each driver out there, there's no one true fast group that's going to fit every single body's driving style, which is why I like dirt. Like each track session is going to be different. Each race is going to be different. You can race this 5 nights out of the week, and each time the track's going to wear differently, which makes the racing different every single night that you're going to be racing. So it's fantastic to watch what lines are coming available here. Is that you see everybody being packed up at the top right now.
And again, we said it on the top, Charlotte, these walls are not forgiving with how iRacing has them set up. But as we are on Jeff Bergener, as he loses control, he gets it pointed where we stay green, but there's one person out of that front pack. And we have 3 now. That's Dante Curtis, Jared Mogard, and Brian Hacker. And nothing drives me more insane when you're out on these tracks, especially when we're talking long runs, when the slick is just covered with loose dirt. I think, there's going to be this beautiful traction. No, absolutely not. And we're reaching the point that there's not going to be anything that's not slicked off for these guys.
Yeah, so go ahead and Josh, tell everybody at home, what is this cushion that we're talking about here? What are they riding on? What is it meant by the word cushion?
So we'll actually go on board. Let's join Jared Mogard on the roll bar. As we enter the corner, you see Dante Curtis is getting his tires into the loose dirt. Essentially, that's all of the loose dirt that has been kicked up into the wall. You're wanting to keep your tire as close to the edge of that as you possibly can. That's going to give you the best grip. If you get too much into it, you lose a little bit of grip. But it's basically just all that piled up loose dirt from everybody flinging it lower on the track. And again, the ideal place to be is right on the edge of it.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, like, you have to, like, really have a set to be able to run up there against that wall and brave the impacts that you have. At least in this is a little bit more of a tank, but to keep your right rear tire right there on that cushion, oh man, it takes a lot of nerves as we see him hit the wall right there and scrub it. That's what you hate to see right there. But it doesn't really slow his car down too much. He was able to hit Brian Hacker right there in the back, down the front straightaway. And
for me, if I'm in that wall, pin it to the floor.
I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't get it out of the wall. It's glued to it at that point. You just got mash it until you hit that straightaway, and that's whenever you can actually kind of pull it away from the wall at that point.
But these guys, in all honesty, probably that wall is going to be the ideal line to be running. But again, we're going to jump back in the field because there's a little bit of separation up there at the front. So we're going to see Devin Rogers right now. He is hugging that low line, seeing if he can get a little bit of speed, try to get himself around Travis Hoefler in the 20, get himself up into 9th. They're both tracking down Philip Martin in the 46. But as we can see, there's a little bit of good dirt down there right now, because all of that black means it's basically just hard-packed dirt, and these knobby tires do not like it when it is.
These tires want to find something they can grind up, and they cannot grind up smooth, or pack down dirt, and it doesn't like it, so it just slides on it, and it cannot grab any grip. That's why we just say it's basically black ice out there.
And that's where some of the other cars that have the adjustable wings with the big old sprint wings, you can adjust those to make it to where you have a little bit more downforce. Makes this kind of driving a little bit easier, but there's nothing quite as pure as just dropping what is essentially a stock car, and it's a driver test right now because these guys are not going to have much grip. And it's going to be throttle control, and you are cranking that wheel.
Yeah, there's no giving up. Every single lap you have to be on point. There's no cruising through here like a medium size to a large track where you can just kind of go through it. No, every single lap you have to be paying attention. You have to be worried about throttle control.
That was
your
a terrible
steering
time to join Adam Gable in car to where we can kind of see a little bit of that.
Ooh.
We're gonna go ahead and go elsewhere. But right now we're on board with Philip Martin, who is nursing just about a half a second lead, but you can see him turn in, and there's tons of counter steer because these guys, this is what they're doing. Dirt is a workout. No way around it. To where we're on lap 49 right now, and let's take a look at Dante Curtis, who's starting to catch some lap traffic. His wheel inputs, they're all over the place, just like everybody else, because there's no grip, but he's a little less reactionary out there. But Brian Hacker has managed to close down the gap ever so slightly to where he is about a quarter of a second behind him. Drags the wall ever so slightly, but we've got 25 laps to go, and now is the time to go ahead and start trying to close that gap.
Yeah, so I mean, here, like you said, like the steering inputs on dirt, you want to have the most minimum steering inputs that you can get because it's all about momentum and speed. And as we've said throughout this time period of street stocks in general, street stocks love momentum. They're not that powerful of a car. They're not super high horsepower. So keeping up momentum is the key to here. And the little bit of input that you can put into it does not scrub the speeds here. This is just like any other track. So they're trying to find their best on these slick surfaces, getting the right tires up on the slick. And if they try to drop it down low, less steering inputs is what they can. As we see Brian Hacker and Dante Curtis coming up with some lap traffic. Looks like Robbie Clavey up top.
And that's going to make this interesting, as these guys are going to have to try to get around him as he's still trying to run his race, stay on the lead lap. But he gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 2, and that's going to give the opportunity for Dante Curtis to get down below. Brian Hacker is also going to be there, but it looks like one of them, if not both of them, are going to have to contend with him coming off the corner. But Brian Hacker, he is going to go ahead, get himself in front for now, but Dante Curtis is going to have to run off the turn 2. He's going to be able to hold him off for just a little while longer.
Yeah, Brian Hacker's doing whatever he can. He's trying to go low, trying to go high, trying to find a line that Dante's not running to where he can find speed. So when he does get to him, he can find a way to get around him.
And these guys, 19 laps to go. I don't think that this fight is going to end anytime soon. Next person around them is Jared Mogert. He's a second and a half back roughly, to where these guys, I think this fight is just going to continue. The one thing to note as we look towards the championship, second place is Mike Alexander. Not here today. We have caution. And that looks like Philip Martin as we actually go past him on track right there. But Ryan Johnson actually took it to the pits and is laps down at this point. Let's see what happens.
He's disconnected.
Oh, Robbie Clavey just kind of gives him a little tag and gets him turned
No,
around.
He had damage, and he said he couldn't get down to the bottom. He was trying to pull it down, and the car just wouldn't steer that way. So over the radio chat, and Ryan Johnson has disconnected from the race for tonight.
Oh, he is. Showing is still on according to live timing and scoring, but we got ourselves a nice run there between cautions, and that's what I like to see. The two people that really did not want to see that were Brian Hacker and Dante Curtis. These guys had a nice, comfortable lead, but if we manage to keep it green, they should be able to pull back out once again.
Yeah, we'll see. We got 17 laps to go. No caution laps count, so
we are
these guys
ticking them down.
Oh, it actually is. I thought
it always resets.
Okay.
Timing and scoring gets really confused. When we actually go back green, it'll...
There it goes.
Yeah. All right, Dante Curtis decides to take that outside line. And honestly, that's probably the better move. But the pace truck is off, and we'll go a little bit farther away to see how the field deals with this. Dante Curtis is off early, doesn't quite get the jump that others have, but both him and Brian Hacker are clear. They're running that wall, and Dante Curtis, a little bit of extra sheet metal left on that outside wall. But with these guys, we got 16 laps to go. We're crossing the line to hit 15.
Will Eastman's dropping out to the bottom, trying to do a slide job right there on Jared Moger, but does not get it completed. That leaves Devin Rogers. He's going to try to fill the gap here. He drops down a little bit lower and cuts him off right there. Takes away the lane and holds him off right now. But Travis Hoefler, a.k.a. almost Gary Eschen there in the number 20, is trying to make a good run there on the outside around Devin Rogers. And we have another caution.
All right. That looks like Philip Martin once again and Rodney Huntoon. Philip Martin just going in. I have a feeling I'll just get sideways and... Ooh, almost got a rolled car in that process. But everybody's running because, yeah, these cars are tanks, and it looks like Philip Martin is going to go ahead and run it into the pits. And while we have 14 laps to go, let's hear from a few more sponsors of the North-South Racing League.
Track Time Entertainment is located in Texas and builds custom driving simulators with a personal touch. Rigs are fully customizable with color options and utilize 80/20 US extruded aluminum. These rigs offer a wide range of adjustability, as well as different options for wheels, shifters, and keyboards. The possibilities are endless. If you can dream it, Track Time Entertainment can build it for you. RC2 Race Promotions is an iRacing event planning and coordination service. If you have an idea for a special one-off money race but don't have the time to handle all the legwork, RC2RP can help. We offer event conception, planning, day-to-day operations, and race event services to cover all of your needs. We are competitively priced and offer detailed services to make sure you get the most bang for your buck. To inquire, visit us on Facebook.
And we are back. These guys are lined up 2 by 2. It's time for the pace truck to go ahead and peel off and get us back to racing with 14 laps to go. But cautions are breeding cautions at this point. And honestly, Dante Curtis goes ahead, gets moving. But Brian Hacker does not quite go away. He's going to run on that low line, see what he can do. Dante Curtis hits the wall, but Brian Hacker gets a little too far sideways, so they do not swap positions. But there's Will Eastman running that low line, running it hard. Can't quite get himself out of the corner. And we're seeing Devin Rogers and Travis Hoefler getting a little, using 4 wheels, or 8 wheels instead of 4. But these guys, 12 laps to go, it's go time. Hopefully we can make it to where the racing continues rather than another caution. But
yeah, right now we got Dante. Dante's working on the high line right now. Brian Hacker's right behind him. We got a good battle for 3rd and 4th right now. Will Eastman's running the high side now and trying to take the lane away from Jared Mogart. Jared Mogart has been working that outside very well, but Will Eastman's trying to take the lane away from him so that he cannot get by him here.
And he's doing a good job. He has been fast off the corners all night, and Jared Mogart sends some sparks along behind him, but that is doing nothing but making it to where Dante Curtis and Brian Hacker have plenty of room to race with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, Will Eastman now drops down to the bottom. They're running basically 3 wide right behind them. Devin Rogers, Josh Nelms, and Travis Hoefler.
Jared Mogart around. No caution because he clears to the bottom. But
and he's doing donuts in the infield, trying to get himself turned around. He did basically a 720 right there. But he's back up and running right in front of the leaders here almost, about a corner and a half ahead of them. So he's at the back of the tail line, but we see Brian Hacker and Dante Curtis. It's just a 2-man race at this point. They have checked out and left the rest of the field.
Yeah, after losing 3rd place there, that gives them 2 seconds worth of cushion to fight it out. If these guys could stop hitting that outside wall, which I know is very difficult here, we're going to jump back just ever so slightly as we hit 6 laps to go. We'll spend the last 5 laps, but this is Travis Hoefler and Josh Nelms going back and forth. It's a matter of who can get that run off the corner. But as we hit ourselves 5 laps to go.
Yeah, getting close up here. Battle's getting pretty heavy. These guys are having a fantastic run right now, but Brian Hacker just can't find a way right now to get by him. Or maybe he's biding his time and trying to show his hand a little bit later on, so it gives Dante Curtis a little bit less time to try to react to it.
I have seen one of the most brilliant moves in a dirt track is, Brian Hacker, we have caution. And he's back to running, and it looks like that was Josh Nelms and Travis Hoefler battling it out back in the back. And Travis Hoefler, they just touch ever so slightly, and that looks like that's a net code and collecting a good chunk of the field there. But that is going to go ahead. Reset the field. We're going to go to what the running order was when they crossed the line. At least I think that's what the logic of these programmers put in. It's the closest thing that I could figure.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's how it does it in the middle of a lap, but I know if you don't go a lap, yeah, it reverts back. It's the most annoying thing that I've found. Like when racing and you don't complete a lap, if it's basically a caution fest and you really don't complete a lap, you can pass 7 people on that one lap, but you're going to be put back into your original spot because you haven't been scored a higher because you didn't complete that lap. It's the most frustrating thing.
I've taken advantage of it before and led a good half of a race because I got inverted to the front, and we would maybe get 2 laps in between cautions. And again, more than happy to lead laps, get those bonus points. But we are going 2 by 2 right now, and as we can see, it is an entirely slick track. But I have seen one of the single best, and we're going single file to prevent it, single best
less than 10
last rate. Oh, as Dante Curtis goes right as everybody's entering the corner and gets an amazing jump. We've got 3 laps to go, and that is exactly what he needed. Again, showering some sparks behind him, but I have a feeling just about everyone else is doing the exact same thing at this point. But Brian Hacker goes in deep into the corner. Is he going to be able to get the run off, clear some of that advantage away from Dante Curtis? He is. 2 laps to go. Is he going to be able to do it more? He's keeping it at a half a second at this point. It's going to be close as we get ourselves to the white flag at this point. Are we going to be able to stay? Yes, we have that white flag, and it's looking like Dante Curtis. Brian Hacker may have a last turn pass in him, but I don't think he's close enough to be able to pull that off. And Dante Curtis going to pull out the win at the Charlotte Dirt Track with Brian Hacker behind him, then followed by Devin Rogers to round out the podium.
Yeah, I was watching the battle for 3rd and 4th right there, and Will Eastman and Devin Rogers were side by side fighting for that last spot, but Devin Rogers was able to get that high side to work and get them around him for that 3rd spot.
And we have our finishing order for the night. Dante Curtis is our winner. Brian Hacker in 2nd. 3rd is Devin Rogers. 4th, Will Eastman. 5th, Kyle Walgreen. 6th, Jared Moggard. 7th, Rodney Huntoon. 8th, Josh Nelms. 9th, Travis Hoefler. 10th is Robbie Clavey.
11th will be Gage Killam. 12th will be Adam Gable. 13th is Philip Martin. 14th is Jeff Behringer. 15th is Ryan Johnson. 16th is Dan Jannon. 17th is Gary Eschen. 18th is Matt Cook. And 19th is Dustin Shepard.
All right. Let's go ahead and see how Dante Curtis is feeling after his inaugural dirt win with the North-South Racing League.
Your mic is on this one. Is at your other headset again, man?
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah, joy.
All right, well, he fixes his audio source right there. All right, man, Dante, you had to battle back up to the front there after the wonderful 0-0-0 invert tonight by Josh. And you were able to slowly claw your way to the front, but once you got there, there was no stopping you. You had some great battles there. What was going through your head when you guys were basically doing crossover after crossover?
I really thought me and him were really even matched. I got to give it up to Brian, man. He runs his stuff a lot, and he's really good at this. And even though I race dirt in real life, I mean, it still feels good to beat Brian. Got a lot of respect for him, and he raced me really clean. I mean, a lot of those times I really didn't think it was ever going to end. You know, it was going to take a caution or something. But thankfully we kind of worked our magic a little bit and got ourselves clear there. I hit him. I drove in about 1 or 2 times too deep and kind of tagged him, and I let him get back beside me that first time, and then second time was a little more racing contact. So luckily we was able to pull it off right there.
No, it was brilliant to see what you guys could do on the long runs. Oh, I'm loud now?
Yeah, now you're loud.
Ah, of course I am.
There you go. That sounds perfect.
Oh, but yeah, it was good to see what you guys could do on the long run. How were you feeling? We actually kind of went on board with you to see you fighting the wheel once everything slicked out and there was just no dirt to be able to get grip.
Yeah, the only real grip on the track was the big berm up on the wall in 1 and 2. There was a lot of times I thought I hit it and heard some scraping noises, but didn't even get a contact or a 0x or anything. So really 1 and 2, it was really sketchy, especially with these things. They don't really like to turn on the gas or off the gas or at all. So Brian, he was really good up there on the top. I think he was better than me. Just I was able to keep the momentum just up a little bit better through 3 and 4, and just try and modulate the throttle like Dustin says and just pedal through the slick.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like that cushion just got a little too close to the wall. We did get to see some sparks fly, but honestly, knowing that you drive dirt in real life, how does it feel to finally get the win in the North-South Racing League?
Yeah, I've been really disappointed all the way up until this point. You know, me and Will and I think Jared Apel and I don't know who else, but we're the dirt guys in here. And Brian and Randy has made us look bad in the past, so it's really good to kind of like, you don't really feel great about winning. You just feel like you did your job. You know, you just like, yeah, I should beat these guys. So just got to give it up to Brian and him for racing me clean and being really fast.
No, it was a great time. I actually kind of wish we had a few more laps because this flew by tonight. And you guys were keeping it very interesting. Actually, the entire field was keeping it interesting. But definitely you two swapping back and forth. That last caution, you had the perfect restart to where we didn't really get to see a scary finish is what I will call it for you, but great for the viewers.
Yeah, I knew them. I didn't know we were going to single file restarts there on the last one, so I was already kind of running through my head what I was going to have to do because I was expecting him to slide me. I mean, he's way quick. He was probably maybe a little quick ticker than me the longer the race went on, and I mean, if I was in his shoes, you know, I'd be wanting restart would be the best chance to do it. But as soon as they said single file, you know, that was really what we needed because I was in between shifting and not shifting on restarts, and either way, I just seemed to struggle starting on the top. I just wanted to make sure I had the cushion going into one there, but it probably would have been better to start on the bottom.
No, it was a great run. Unfortunately, we don't get to see any dirt for the rest of the season, but looks like you unfortunately get to start at the back at actually the track I've been looking forward to the most at Concord. But
yeah, that's a tough one. I really have never raced too many times at that place, but I think the last time we were there I was able to get a win. So it's wide and tricky to get a hold of, so hopefully it'll be a little easier to pass and we can make some moves happen.
all right, it was a great night cushioning that points lead, but you know what? You get your first dirt win in this league, and I have to congratulate you because honestly I've been waiting for it.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I really honestly don't look forward to these races because, like I said earlier, I feel like I should win these, and in the past I haven't won them, so I haven't really been looking forward to them in the past. But it looks like it give us opportunity to get a couple new guys in the top 5 and top 10 there. Got to give a big shout out to old Devin for getting his first podium there. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk to you guys. Kyle Walgren, just really a fun night here. Just got to thank Dustin. You know, he was. I think he got in a fight with a Uke tire and lost on that one earlier tonight. So I hate that for him. But glad Phil could get back and race with us. Just got to thank you guys for a great broadcast and all the admins for giving us a good place to race every weekend.
All right, anyone else to throw out to? Because we know you've got a list.
Not this week. I'll let it go.
All right, congratulations, sir. Enjoy the week, and we'll catch you at Concord.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, on to second place, Brian Hacker, who looked like he had an opportunity until we went single file.
Yeah, that last restart got me, but that's all right. It was so hard to pass. I don't even know if I was going to be able to do anything.
You came close on that second last restart. You timed it just right, and you stayed right with them on that restart. But he eventually was able to clear you right when the caution came out. You were making some gains, but I think you at that time you're probably happy because I think you made contact with the wall and scraped it and dropped down a little bit. and you were about to drop back a little bit. As soon as that happened, the caution came out for you, and it let you regroup just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I kind of ran it the same way I had been running it, and then it just kind of shot me down the track. But yeah, I knew going single file would be the death of me, especially with, I think, 3 to go on that last restart. There was going to be nothing I was going to be able to do. Dante get such a jump that I was going to spend all 3 laps just trying to catch him, and that's what happened. I mean, he ran the better race than me. He got the lead when he had the opportunity, and I just couldn't ever quite get it back. So he deserved this one for sure.
So I have to ask, how hard were you having to fight it tonight? Once everything got slicked out, we started to see some ruts, and I know from experience, my shoulders hurt after running dirt.
How often do you run dirt?
It was once a week.
Okay, yeah, so I guess a little tip is if you're working the wheel that hard, you're doing too much. So honestly, I think I turn the wheel less running dirt than I do on asphalt.
I need to learn.
Like I said, the less wheel input, the faster you go, because you take too much of a chunk out of it and slow these things down. You need all the momentum you can get.
Exactly. These things are just big pigs, and you can't slide the momentum off and wear it off in the corners. You got to try to keep it up. So the less front wheel action you've got going on, the better.
No, but it was a great run. We got to enjoy you and Dante battling back and forth pretty much the entire night. Were you really thinking that the win was there, or was it more of just, you know what, let's have the best showing I can?
I was gonna try something. I don't know what. I wasn't gonna wreck them by any means, but there were a few times I was trying to figure out where I wanted to do it. There was a few times coming off 4 that I was able to kind of get a bump rundum and keep it there, and I was considering throwing a slider into 1 and 2, but the only thing is, if you do that, he's got the chance to counteract in 3 and 4. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could get a run off of 2 and maybe try to get around him, but it was just so hard. 1 and 2. This is probably my least favorite dirt track on the sim, just because 1 and 2 gets so slicked off that the only thing you can really do is put it on the cushion and hammer down. So we were basically running identical times through 1 and 2, and I could get him every once in a while through 3 and 4. Then he'd yank me through 3 and 4, and we were just pretty even. There was not much I was going to be able to do without him having a huge bobble.
Well, I will just say then don't listen back to the broadcast, because I think I stated this is my favorite of the dirt tracks.
Well, to each their own.
But no, it was a great run.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. You did what you had to do, and once the track starts to slick off, I mean, there's not much you can try and do. You can throw some Hail Marys out there, but like you said, you throw a Hail Mary, he's running his line, he can just turn down and just kind of zoom past you. Just throwing those Hail Marys basically scrubs all the speed you got.
Yeah, for sure. If we weren't banging the boards through 1 and 2, if we had to run 1 and 2 like we did 3 and 4, I think I'd had a better chance. But when I really just kind of narrowed it down to there's only 1 corner I could really do anything different, that was the end of it. But happy to run second by all means. So I've in the 4 dirt races we run, I finished second 3 times. So I feel like this is my home on dirt. It's just finishing second. I got the win earlier this year, but I'll just I'll take the seat next to Dante, where all of us usually end up on a weekly basis.
Okay, you said that, but we're on to Concord next week. You don't have to start from the back. How are you feeling about that one?
I mean, I guess I'm happy that I don't have to start from the back, but honestly, they tore that track down. I know a lot of people like that track in real life, but I thought it would have been better if they filled it with water and bass and made a bass fishing tournament arena out of it. It's not for me. The whole triangle thing it's okay. It's not my least favorite track in the world, but certainly not my favorite. I think it's gonna maybe cause some hairy incidents because it's just not your traditional shape. So we're going to see people, thinking they're inside when maybe they aren't, and vice versa. So it'll be interesting.
I think it's the road racer in me, but I absolutely love that track. But it should be some interesting racing. But great job on the second place. Any shout outs before we let you back to hanging out with everyone?
Yeah, we've gotten up here a couple times this year, but I always want to shout out Carbon Junction, Narrative Coffee, Aberdeen Lodge, Robbie and Justin, and all the 10,000 other admins in this league for making it fun to come here every Monday night. Thanks to you guys for jumping on board. I think this is your second season now. I always like going back and watching these. You do a pretty damn good job. So shout out to you guys, and we'll be back next week from Concord, I guess.
All right, sounds good. Congratulations, and we'll see what you have for us next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. And now we've made him wait long enough for his maiden journey into the booth. How are you feeling after that one, sir? Oh. Devin, do we have you?
Oops, sorry. Yep, I got you.
Well, good to finally chat with you up here. It was a little bit of a chaotic race. We got to see you jumping around and trying to fight your way onto the podium, and honestly, it was a great race from you.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to buy time. These past few races, I've been getting taken out pretty early, so just keeping my nose clean, trying to find where the grip was. Watching Hacker and Dante up there, they were kind of middle to top, so I ended up finding it later on in the race, and just ended up sticking for me.
No,
I got you, man. You were battling like crazy there at the end. I mean, but you were up there in top 5, top 7 all night long, just battling, trying to push your way forward. What was the key there on that last couple restarts there to solidify this top 3?
Yeah, well, I kind of got lucky because I literally had like a nose on Will that very last caution. So I was able to start in front of him on the single file. Really just Dante helping me out, giving me a nice little heads up when he was going to be taking off. So I got a good jump that last restart and was able to hold my line pretty solid.
No, it sometimes the single file makes it to where it's the worst thing ever, but you really took advantage of it to where a podium for you and a good points night, honestly.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to keep my nose clean. Getting banged up these past few weeks, I just kind of wanted to chill out and just stay out of the way as much as I could and run where everybody else wasn't. So it was able to work out for me.
No, it was a great run from you. And next week we're off to Concord, which apparently is either hit or miss on if people like it or not. What do you think you have for us?
Recently, or actually, I've actually ran pretty solid at Concord. Not a track that I necessarily like, but for whatever reason, I tend to run somewhat decent there. So hopefully I keep my nose on it and get another top 3 next week.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Congratulations on a 3rd place. And any shout outs before we let you get back to celebrating?
Yeah, give you guys a shout out for the broadcast. You guys do an amazing job. The NSRL guys, they run a fantastic league. Robbie puts in a lot of work for this. Shout out to the DCD boys, Dante, Phil, Dustin. I know he hit a tire this race, but yeah, them, my parents, I know they're watching, my fiance, and my Rebel Racing guys, and SPM.
All right, congratulations, sir. Looking forward to seeing what you have for us next week, and we'll let you get to celebrating.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. All right, that is going to be it for us tonight. The final dirt track and kind of wild card of the season. But we are back next week for 125 laps at Concord Speedway. Make sure and catch all the action on Ghostfire Media. We have Tuesday nights, we have Wednesday nights, and obviously we will be here with the North-South Racing League a week from tonight. But thank you from everyone at Ghostfire Media. I'm Josh Laston. That's Adam Wood. Have yourselves a good evening.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.